Hey, what's up, everyone? Last Sunday, I attended a OTS Championship tournament hosted by Atlantis Hobby. I went X2 the entire day, 32 players, 8 rounds, 5 rounds of Swiss, then top 8, 2 matches, then the top 4, 2 matches. Oh, I think I got that right. But yeah, it was really good. The reason why I decided to choose Dinos, because it just seemed like a safe bet, to be honest. There's a lot of meta decks right now that I'm just not too keen about, like like Spright or Tear Elements, or even Flunders. I'm a main Flunder player, but then Dino's where my heart's at. When I attempted to come back into Yu-Gi-Oh, the first time was during the structure deck, the Dino Smashers Fairy. I believe that's the set or the deck, the structure deck. Ever since then, Dino's been a big part of my coming back. Then Mist got hit 2-1, free my boy. Then Dinos just wasn't really relevant at that moment. But I'm coming back to Dinos now because I want to put Dino's name on the map. Starting with the deck list, 2 Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Not much explaining really necessary for 2 Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Your boss monster, attack every monster on the board. Also defense position, quick effect during main phase to pop 1 monster, flip everything face down defense. And then there are also, when attacks a defense monster, send it to graveyard, inflict 1,000. 3 Overraptors. Overraptors are your 1-card starters. You can either bring it to your hand or you can send it to the grave. That's pretty much what Overraptor is going to be doing. 1 Miscellaneous, free my boy. You just gotta read Misk. I don't need to explain Misk. 2 Raptors, 1 Chimera. 3 is kind of overkill for this deck, but then at the same time, you can fit a 3rd, but then I do play a few systems in this build. So 2 works for me. 3 might work for others, but 3 just works for me. Or 2 works for me. 3 might work for others. 2 Baby, 1 Petite. The reason for Petite is because I main deck Pinkertops. So Pinkertops, so you could just pop this and bring out Pinkertops to your board, which is why I'm playing the Petite. I did kind of fight myself over playing just 3 Baby and 1 Petite, which is like it's the common route. It's like the most generic route that people take with the Dino decks. But then I realized, you don't really want to see Baby in your hand too often. And you can also search these pretty easily too, so you don't really need to max these out. Maybe if you're playing like the Starfrost engine, sure, but not in my build. Then 2 Archosaur, which is very generic. Archosaur pops any dinosaur besides itself, searches for a double evolution pill. That's pretty much all it's really going to be doing. You have 1 Pinkertops and 1 Giant Rex. That's all you need. That would be the whole lineup for all the Dino monsters. Then we move on to 2 Magna Huts, 3 Drill Swarms, and 1 Souvenir. So I actually did like some theorizing with this, and it seems like 3 Magma is just too much. At first, I was playing 3 Magma, 2 Drill Swarms, 1 Souvenir. But then my boy Ken from our group, shout out to him, after seeing him top his own tournaments, I asked him about why the 2 Magnamuts over 3 Magnamuts. He made a very like good, helpful tip to me, which would be that if they go into dark, you don't want them stealing your Magnamuts. If anything, yeah, you can take my Drill Swarm, but then if you give them the Magnamut, they have reoccurring play on their turn now, which is what you don't want to do. So then you play the Bestial package because you can also abuse it to yourself as well, banishing your lights or darks. And also just going to the tier plays, you have hand traps against tiers. That's it for the monster lineup. Now going to the spell, 3 Lost Worlds. I don't know why some people do play 2, but then 3 just seems right for me. Technically you're playing 4 with Terraforming, but Lost World is so strong that I don't see why people would play 2, because these will also set up for your chain blocking as well. Summoning Overraptor, chain 1, chain 2, Lost World. So then that way you dodge Ash. And then if they already control a token, for example, like an adventure token, then once you activate this, your opponent can't target your monsters anymore because they target a token. And then at the same time, these actually mess up a lot of tier players because when they have kit, and then they have a token and kit, they can't target the kit to pop the kit. They have to target the token to pop the token. and then you could negate the destruction with Lost World to destroy like a baby in your deck. So Lost World is just hands down very, very strong. And one of my matchups against Runnick, and against the Runnick player, if he controlled a token, he couldn't target any of my monsters, and Lost World just saved my day there. Lost World is too good to not play it at 3. And then we will go to 3 Fossil Digs. 3 Fossil Digs, very generic. Your Dino Searcher. 2 Evolution Pills, very generic. That's it. That's all you play for your dinosaur spells. Then 3 Prosperities. 3 Prosperities, you can't go for a game, but then at the same time, you need consistency. And Prosperity brings you that consistency that you need. It might be a little bit expensive, and some people might not be able to afford it. But in this build, 3 Prosperity just works for me a lot better, and that's why I don't need a lot of the 3 Scrap Raptors, because Prosperity can just search for what I need. 3 Droplets. People are against Droplets because we are kind of in a shifter format. So, because Spright can main shifter, also Flunders, of course. Crystal Beast, if you ever see it, or any other rogue decks, they can main shifter, or they can even side shifter, which will hurt Droplet because it becomes a dead card. All you really can do is just set it down, make it into a fodder. But then, I feel like if they don't have it, these are your biggest win con against Spright. Because then you're going to break that board, you're going to hit that elf, you're going to hit that the red, the carrot, hit their toad, whatever you need to hit. For example, you're going against Tear Ishizu, they have Celiac set. You summon Ov, activate Ov, they activate Celiac. Forbidden Droplet, sending Ov for cost, and then there you go. You're clear off the board, and then you can negate their Rukalos or whatever else they have on the board. Droplets for me is just, it works wonder for me right now, so I don't think that's something I would cut. Then Callby and Harpy's Feather Duster for the 1-ups. And then the last 3 cards in this deck is 3 Imperms. It's kind of crazy how I've been seeing people cut Imperms and putting them to the side, or just not playing them at all. This is your strongest hand trap this format, because it dodges triple tactics. When they summon Kit, they try to search, you Imperm the Kit. Now they can't pop the Kit and they can't search with it. Go into Gigantic, majority of the time when they go into Gigantic, they're going to have red on the board. So when they activate Gigantic, you're going to Imperm that, because they don't usually bring out Carrot. So Imperm, I just feel like it's so strong that you just had to play it at 3. If I was to side these, I wouldn't even play them. And especially you go against Flunders, Imperm is your best friend. Always hit that Eaglin. That's it for the main deck. The main deck's sitting at 42. 42 for me feels comfortable. I know it's a little bit much. I can cut. Before it was 42, I wasn't main decking Pink and Giant Rex. I cut the Rex and I sided the Pink for exactly 40. But then moving it to 42 didn't hurt. Sure, it might have, you can do like the calculations for consistency, but then I feel like it's good. At 42, I'm good with it. So we should actually go to extra deck. Extra deck, 1 Link Karibo, 1 Secure Garna. It's pretty obvious. Archer Sword, 1 to Link Karibo. Karibo goes into Secure Garna. You got 1 Dino, 1 non-Dino, E-Pill. Masquerena, Wyvern, Elf, Nightmare, Avermax. IP Elf either goes into Unicorn or Avermax. This is plan B. Elf, because you play a lot of level 2s, Link 2s, which is Wyvern or a baby. And then your Elf can also bring back your baby to pop it again. So that's what I do. That's why I'm running the Petite. Because if I use Petite that turn, then I could just bring it back on my opponent's turn or whatever, use the UCT to pop the Petite, bring out Pinker Tops. So now you have 1, 2, and 3 interruptions, which is the IP going to Avermax for Nightmare. Avermax, very simple. When you go against your tier matchups, they can't target it. They can't do much to this. This is majority of the time your win con versus tier elements. Also, a lot of decks, they really have a tough time trying to out Avermax too as well. So that's why Avermax is in the side deck, or extra deck, I mean. Now we move on to Exceeds. So Dugaris, Cowboy, Dweller, Boguska, Dolka, Lagia. Very kind of standard. I think the only one that people aren't really playing is the Cowboy. Cowboy is mainly just to go into time. Yeah, basically you just put in defense, detach 1, inflict 800, and that could be game if you go into time. Dollar, self-explanatory. Daguerre, very self-explanatory as well. Make a 7,000 UTT or draw 2, discard 1. Baguska is good. This is my plan B. Like my extra deck, I usually have a plan B. Baguskas for plan B to stall for maybe 3 turns or less. Doka and Lagia, very generic for Dino decks. Doka is if I don't have like droplets or imperms set. And then Lagia is if I do have monster interruption set. So then I would choose one depending on the situation. Then it comes into Savage Dragon and Baron. Easy to make Baron. Baron, all you gotta do is 1 Bestial, 1 Scrap Raptor equals Baron, which is amazing, you know, especially for dinos. You don't have to play the Starfrost. Now you can play the Bestials where you have interruptions on your opponent's turn. Also, you could do this on your turn as well, just banishing any of your lights or darks. Go into Magnamut, activate Magnamut. Now you have another Bestial in hand at the end phase, and then just Raptor, Baron, easy. Savage, very simple to make. Raptor plus any level 4, go straight into Savage. Just make sure that you have a Link monster in your graveyard. Most of the time when you go into Savage, you will have Wyvern in graveyard, so you'll be safe. You have 2 negates once per turn, and it'll be at 3750, I believe. Ending is just my 2 tokens, which is just the structure deck. Yeah, Dino Smasher's Fairy. Structure deck tokens, or not tokens, but just the info card. That's it for the extra deck. Now we're going to the side deck. Side decks are different. It depends on your locals. That's why I say like side decks aren't really that important. It just really depends on how your locals is. If it's more rogue or is it more meta. So your side deck is up to your own opinion. Same thing. I mean, the whole deck is up to your own opinion. Just take and choose what you like. There's 2 Fenrir's. I have a third, but then 2 just seems fine for me. Because when I was siding, it was 1 paint and 2 Fenrir's inside. But then now that I'm maining the Pinkertops, 2 is inside now. 3 Dogwoods. Dogwoods, easy going to time. You know, like during the OTS tournament, I saw these every game, which was crazy. You know, like that doesn't happen, but I saw it every game, 3rd round, going to time. I saw Dogwood, and these cards saved me. Trust me, it's the max C that's legal. You know, like during 3rd round, they don't want to. Once you drop this, when they already special 1, you already gained the life points. They don't want to keep going because if they do, they give you the advantage. Then going to Evenly. Evenly is like one of those cards where people don't know if they want to side it or main, or they don't know if they want to even have it in the deck. But I say Evenly is so good that why would you not side it? You know, because like sometimes I just can't. If I can't break a board, Evenly is my security. Like if I know what's like on Sunday, sometimes I just held this in hand because I knew I can break a board. But for example, if I had a hand that was like, oh man, it's not the best, you know, and if I have Evenly, you know, Evenly can help me equalize the board for me. So Evenly was just, it's that card. It's just that card. 3 Triple Tactics. Triple Tactics is way too good not to play this format. Going against Flunders, going second match, or going to you're going second, siding in Triple Tactics, taking their Bear Stature, taking their Empen, whatever they have, drawing 2, or even just a free pointer. It's just so amazing not to play. I feel like Triple Tactics will be so relevant, especially coming up this post-Photon Hypernova. So I feel like if you haven't got your playset of Triple Tactics, I feel like you should. Because these cards are just amazing. Once Tasking comes out, it's going to be even better. Then we will have 3 Solemn Judgments. 3 Solemn Judgments, security. Also, you have, when you build a board, you will have those Omni Negates, but then if they were to break it or they were to bait it out, you still have Solemn Judgments. That is your safe bet. I would rather lose half my life than lose my entire board. And then the one saucy tag, Superconductor Tyranno. You can replace this with a 3rd Fenrir, but then I don't feel like it's necessary. Superconductor Tyranno is just so amazing. Like I feel like it's such a good card that it's kind of like, you know, you go into 3rd round, time remaining, you know, maybe 5 minutes. You do your whole combo. Your petite, you pop the petite, or you could just summon this out with double evolution pill. Tribute something on your board, something that's not relevant, or you can tribute itself. Inflict 1,000 to your opponent, and this wins you the game. That's why I said, you know, This is just my saucy tech. You don't have to do this one. You could take this out for probably a third Fenrir. But then I feel like this card, it did win me a game, so I have to give this card some credibility. Beyond that, I won the second place trophy. I do have a first place trophy, but that was with my Flunders, and I'll probably post that up later down the road. The matchups were good today. I really enjoyed it. Shout out to my team, Trip Sevens. We really came out really strong. 5 of us made it into top 8, and then top 4 of us made it into the top 4. So we took that tournament pretty well. It was a good day. I enjoyed it. Shout outs to a lot of my team members that helped me play test with this deck, and also a lot of tips that they've been giving me. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time.